All right. Okay. Silver, $52 target in late 2021. How the hell did I come up with that? Nobody knows the future. My tools are classic chart trading framework, measured moves, stage analysis. You write it according to Stan Weinstein's rules. If you're above 30-week moving average, when the weight of evidence tells you go in, you go in. And when after that you start having clues that are telling you that you're starting to end that stage 2. When you have closes below moving average, you start taking your chips off the table. That's all great. But to manage my expectations of a big move, I like to try to get as much information as I can using different views, different ratios, different assets, and see if I could extrapolate some data which would give me some estimates of the time to reach targets. So in my head, let's say I go in silver right now and I say, oh man, it's going to go to 50. And then in my head, oh, it's going to go to 50 next month. And then it's not there in 1 month. And then I start panicking, or then I start losing patience. But if you're able to see, try to get some estimates, some educated estimates that, oh no, I'm going to reach my 52 in the late 2021, then you're not stressed. You know that whatever we're living now is going to be noise, and as long as you're above your moving average and all the other rules are still intact, that's just part of the process. So what I got here, I'm going to use the gold-silver ratio to start things off. I'm going to change that into line graph. I'm going to remove the moving average. So this is my gold-to-silver ratio. This was the peak in 2008 when silver and gold had been hit hard. And this is in April 2011. It's when silver was at its peak and gold was pretty high. As we know, the gold-silver ratio has a pretty strong correlation to the actual price of silver and not necessarily gold. So you know that if gold-silver ratio goes down, then silver will go up. Look at that correlation with the price of silver. It's a negative, almost perfect, -1, -9. So that's a pretty strong correlation. So when you see the gold ratio go down, you could have a strong confidence that the price of silver will also be following that. So what I got here, let's ghost this image. So let's say right now this is the peak. You see that right now here, somebody could have said, oh, maybe this is the peak, but and then never materialized, never went all the way down. This was a 2016 rally in the precious metals. But right now, the difference between here, 2016, and today in the total weight of evidence, we had a better breakout in gold today than we had back then. Back then, we never surpassed the 1400 one. Right now here, when we had the breakout in gold, we surpassed 1350, 1400. A lot stronger breakout in gold right now than 2016. So let's say we're assuming that gold has actually broken out. It's leading the way. Now the fun part comes with silver. Let's put a line. All right, there's my mirror move. And that's what I want to repeat. So it's going to start right here, peak for peak. So already now we're starting to a little bit simulate that. I'm going to try to figure out, based on this, where the price of silver and gold are going to be once we reach that target. And that target is November 21st. What's going to be the price of silver November 21st? No, November 1st, 2021. So in 2 years, where are we going to be? Some other cool stuff. Maybe also we're going to want to know where we're going to be when we break down. Because right here, you see it accelerates. So right now, the price of silver is going to accelerate here until we hit that trend line on the gold-silver ratio and actually go sideways. So the angle of ascent, when I pop up the silver chart here, it's not going to be that impressive. Price action, we're right here today. Silver's about at 1750. So right now, price of silver maybe here's going to be 20, 22. But after that, this is when it's going to get interesting. So right here, this marks, this is in April. Even lower, it's going to start crashing really hard right here. So March, in between March and April of 2021, so in about a year and a half, that's when it should really accelerate. So somebody could even stay on the sidelines, wait for all that to pan out. And right here, the big money, the fast money in a short period of time should be made in that last leg once we break down below this trend line right here. So I'm going to try to give you a price for, call out right here. Price of silver. And another one right here. So right here, I want a price. What's my target? And here's the other target right down here on those two dates. Remember, April 21 or March, April 21 and the year 20 and November 21. Okay, cool. Okay, so right now, what else could I get off of this? I have a nice channel right here. Of course, it's a fractal. So right now, that move moved up here. We're gonna stay in the channel. All is clean, all tidy. We're just gonna consume this gas tank, which is called the gold-silver ratio. And even if it doesn't go, the ratio doesn't go to previous lows, crazy lows, you don't care about that. You're gonna be at a reasonable place. If this is a potential trend line, it might bounce off here. So we're gonna want to probably exit here. We want to know the price when we're gonna be here. And the important part is the price of silver going up. It's not the actual ratio. Oh, historically it has to go down to 15. You want to know a safe place where you could maximum return. So the high price of silver with without overextending your stay in with that position. Okay, let me add silver futures. Let's get the price. So where is going to be my price of silver right here? I'm going to take the exact same angle of ascent. Where are you? Right here. For that same period, that trend line angle right here. So that's the move that we took away. So right here from that low of silver all the way to that high. That's the angle of ascent, which I want to reproduce. Where was my low? Right here. Right here was my low, just a little bit more. Squeeze that up. Oh no, can't do that. Okay, I'm going to redo the angle. Okay, so that's perfect. Even could draw some more my trend lines. And we're going to have a nice channel for the price of silver. Ah, pat. You can't mess around with this, the zoom when you're playing with angles. So this is the price action right here. And this, if we have the same angle of ascent, you see here how it's not going as fast. Same thing that we had back here. When we broke down right here, that's when the angle of ascent went crazy. So I'm actually going to add another angle of ascent. We'll actually do it in 2 shots right here before we break. So right now, that's going to be our first target. And after that, that's going to be our final target right here. So where are we going to be in the price of silver in April of or late March of 2021, in a year and a half? The price action should be right about here. And that price action is about 24.50 right there. Coincides. Right about here. So right here, silver. That's our so late March, silver 2021, right about here. And after that, when we have that crazy angle of ascent, which should match up with our final target. Once we reach that final target right here, around 54, 50, even higher. Wow, 50, 53. That's my final target. So around the 53 area, 54 area. In November 21, right there. So really gonna accelerate. So it's gonna take us about 1.5 years to get to this breakout line here, this pattern. We're gonna have some zigzag, really for the momentum to start going up. And once we pierce through, that's when the party's gonna start. And we should have this type of scenario right here where we go crazy right there above. So a nice big base, as gold has already broken out of its base, hitting previous support, turn resistance right here. With all that congestion area, gold has already started to hit the wall, that bottom base of that big top pattern. Silver will have to get to there. This is the time it's going to take, a year and a half to bring us late March. And then after that, for the remainder of the year, from March to late November or late 2021 in November, we should be going exponential all the way there. That will deflate the gold-silver ratio, stay within that channel, that upwards channel. You don't get greedy. Here is going to be crazy, crazy fear of missing out, FOMO right here, to the moon, the world of the end of the world, they're printing too much money, etc. But those, you'll know that technically you're going to see the setup of you're going to be within your boundaries, within the weight of evidence. You're going to know that you're going to start hitting hurdles, and you want to minimize the risk and maximize the return. Whatever happens after, the chart's going to morph. Maybe it's going to explode. Maybe it's going to consolidate. But this, for me, is the lower risk, higher reward scenario that I'm seeing right now. Sometimes I look at it before I had targets a little further away before hitting that 52, 54. But if we're about to repeat this type of inclination, gold-silver ratio going down, so that's my measuring stick, something that already happened in the past, from a high to a low. So if the high is here, I'm going to that low right there. That's the target I'm getting, guys. Anything could happen, but that's how I'm expecting it right now. Let me know what you think. Silver 24.50, late March 2021. So a lot of congestion here to get above. But once we're above that, we should really start getting moving around 52.54 right here, a little bit above previous highs, and think about bailing out right at those levels, guys. That's it, man. That's my target for silver, using the gold to silver ratio. Ciao, guys.